no. After these bonus there. Praise Dalit. So he was saying that the Tzimoyin, which is Ka'arya Yisha, so this exists by the Nefesh Elokis and the Nefesh Bahamis. He started to explain that the cause of the Tzimoyin of the Nefesh Elokis is these bonus and the flow of Eir Yitzhak. That Eir Yitzhak is be'ein aroich to him and to the Chayis invested in him. And that creates the good like Tzimoyin and the Ava Kerish Be'esh. Right, this is the Ka'arya Yisha. Because the Aryeh feels his Chayis and embraces it and understands it, and then is misboinen. That this is only at the merest ha'orah, so that causes the fire, the desire to burn up his matziv and his sense of separation and merge and become one with the Eibishter's bligvulness, with the Eibishter undisguised. That's exactly what he's talking about now, the Nefesh Elokis. He said, and that poyel the Tzimoyin and Nefesh Bahamis. But here there are two ways. The first one is that because the Nefesh Elokis is Meliubavitch and Nefesh Bahamis, as we explained yesterday, so the person is 1%. There's part of me that's longing, and everything's affected by that. It's a Tzimoyin of the Nefesh Elokis, so that causes also Tzimoyin and Nefesh Bahamis. It's writing, as it were. And in other words, like being inspired. Being it if I bring into the Nefesh Elokis, part of me is inspired. The totality of the person is inspired. At least temporarily, because it's external. It's the end of Eisdam. There's another way. Two kinds of Eish. The first kind of Eish is the Eish of longing. We described that, we mentioned that it burns up, that the burning up part really is not, it's a separate component. Bambus, that's the second is bonus. The first one is longing. But the second one is not just longing, but eish achla, it's a consuming fire. What kind of ava is this? So this kind of ava, the first one is a longing, but that doesn't mean where I am is so terrible. Second type of longing is that there's no room for anything else. It consumes anything else, burns up anything else. Nothing else will do. As he says, this is a bonus of Nefesh Elokis, which is consuming. Not just I want to be there, but I cannot be here. And I wish to consume. It's the Avedis Asrafim, the Shaygis Sa'aryeh. So then that has an effect on the Nefesh Bahamis. That TV Nefesh Bahamis, they cannot tolerate the Nefesh Bahamis being excited about anything else. Cannot tolerate it. Not just he longs for godliness, but the Mars is okay too, sometimes a little bit. Like to have that more. It's less. It's not more and less. It's absolute. And therefore, it's not only that you cannot tolerate. When you're excited about forbidden things, that's Manda Kashmei for sure. Cannot tolerate and has no desire for excitement and pleasures in anything which is not elikus. So this is what nullifies the foreign fire of the Nefesh Bahamis. All that's left is the good. And he's just a fellow that wants. So he also has a desire for the kus. More detail to come. Do you understand the difference? Eish Tam and Eish Oichla. Eish Tam, longing. Beautiful, but doesn't mean other things are not nice too. Not as nice, not as beautiful. Ish Eichel is nothing other. So that's pale, the Nefesh Shebaham is a whole different thing. That continues. We had Simoyin, the Vavakrish, Pesha, Avodas Adam. So this Avodah, this Simoyin, this Ava, like fire in Avodas Adam, see if the Pasuk said, this is the Pasuk we're looking at. The Pasuk in, we're looking at the Pasuk in, like Shea, I think. In the Diyukim. Sorry. Yeah, Shea. Let's read it again. Go after God, like a lion roars, kihu yishak, for he roars. Yechedu banim yom, and the children in the west tremble. Yechedu ketzipam in Mitzrayim, they tremble like a bird from Mitzrayim, v'chayonim eretz Ashur, and like a dove from the land of Ashur. V'shaftim al bateyem, and I'll return them to the homes of Hashem. Thus saith God. Now he's explaining this now. Avodas Adam, we began to it. The diyukim of first ka'arye yishak, like a lion, and then kihu yishak, he cries, he roars. So he explains now that because it begins with achrei havaya leich or ka'arye yishak, and then kihu yishak. We said, what's the shaiga, the cry, the geval? It's being misbeinen in that which is beyond, and that's where the truth lies. Because the elikus that's invested in me is compromised. It's a tzir in a form, malakal al gvul. So what's his simoin? His simoin for the Eibush to reveal uncompromised. The flow of it himself, the wonder of it all. So here on this level, this simoin, the pasuk says, how's the seder hadvarim? How does it go? Acharei havaya yelechu, and then ka'arye yisha. Follow God literally after him, like a lion. He roars. Hainu. What's the diyuk? This is an external, after or behind. Why? Because, and that's how it has to be. If he should say that he's approaching godliness from below to above, from behind us, he approaches ever deeper. And what's these bondeness? First, he's pale. He's misbeinen, rather, that there has to be, and there is a koyach which is bringing him into existence every moment. The general hisbondenness of the ischachus abriya yesh ma'ayin, that there has to be a koyach apel benifal, that godliness is invested in him, without which he has no reality. Then and then his bondenness becomes more detailed and is misbeinen in memala kol almin, the different levels of elikus that animate the different creations, including himself, recognizing that all of the properties and qualities that he has are a reflection of the Malak Kalam and the Svidis and the Midrash Shalamayla. Then he's misbein, and that this itself is because a result of the Tzimtzum. And the Tzimtzum itself, in Mamal itself, it devolves Meirasayv to the Tzimtzum. Then he approaches ever deeper and is his bonus. And all of that flaw, including Eirasayv, which Eirasayv still has a connection to Gvul by virtue of the fact that it's called Seviv Kol Almin. And these concepts, of course, is explained in thousands of Maimarim Chassidus, starting with Perek Gimel in Tanya. So then he's misbein shoylel all of these in Yonim from Eidin Sof, that Eidin Sof can't even be said on him, Seviv Kol Almin. So this is all of his bonus in the flow of Elikus, the wonder, the beyondness of it all, of his conscious state and experience and station and level and external distance in terms of his own experience. How removed is he in terms of his experience of this truth, that his bonus leaves him ever deeper to this truth. The Yash Mitzad Asagas have said himself, Bal Simon B'Shaik. In his bonus, in his learning itself, of course, we don't, as we explained, the distance is only from our perception. But that's not a delusion. Hashem made it that way. That's the tzimtzum. For us to overcome, the tzimtzum is not kipshuta. So this then engenders the tzimbai and the shayged that Hashem said earlier, not just these bondeness, but the rotzen to be there. And therefore, strafim ba'im di mimala. But this is all a process of what? Of his bondeness, level by level. That's the meaning of the pasuk. Says they go after the age to follow him, and that's that dark. Good. Period. What's like the lion? What's the like the lion? Who the lion is malach. The fish. Talking to the yid. Pasuk starts talking to the yid. And then invokes the Aryeh, like the Aryeh. He's not a lion. He's a human being. So who's the lion at the Malach? So why are we saying like the lion raw? First of all, first answer is because his bondeness he has. He's being misburned and the same is bondeness. This is the bondeness of the Seraphim. But more than that. In order Never Shabbat should be affected by all of this. He's quite happy in his world. Never kiss too, because it's compromised. It's Never Shabbat. It's invested in Never Shabbat, invested, fused. So the Never Kiss no longer feels its pure longing for godliness. Can't feel anything purely. It's slavish and Never Shabbat. There's no, again, we said yesterday, it's not made up of different parallel dimensions. It's one human being. So therefore, you've got to be plugged into something high. That's why we say, one of the reasons that we say, describe all of this before creation. Because the nesinas koyach of the malach. How do they help us? Because Never Shabbat comes from it. From the Pnei Shor and from the Nesher. As he goes on to say about that do it and like that which is known, because they tell you about Yikra right at the beginning, Madam Kiyakri. Within the foundational name of the Alter Rebbe, he explains there this elemental maimah, the first maimah we learn, right? We start to learn Chassidus, is Adam Kiyakri, that these boldness in Sukkah de Zimra and Birchas Krishma, it's all binyan avedus hamalachim. Why? Because that's the shaydish of the Never Shabbat. This is his world. This is not foreign to you. This is where you come from. And moreover, he says, that gives help in the sinas koyach and empowerment. The oirid is ha'ava b'Never Shabbat. All of Seder Shtalshalus is rooting for you, my friend. All the malachim, Kodesh, and Baruch, as they all know, that if you're inspired by it, then the good Lord is pleased with our praise. Disconnected from you, then it rings hollow. The Kivin and sins, next page. The fact is that Never shall he kiss. Now it's shirish is hiding in the malachim, but now it's come into the guf, and Never Shabbat is infused with it. He's lowered in the malachim. So therefore, when it's tzarich l'sinas koyach, Never shall he kiss need in the sinas koyach, and so the Never Shabbat. That's why ke'aryeh tzarich l'sinas koyach mem, and we need this empowerment from the malachim, from all of Seder Shtalshalus. Lachin oimer ke'aryeh yishav b'chof adimyin. He says, like the lion, it's only like their avodah. Why? Because we're Never Shalikis in a guf and Never Shabbat. Keeping Shazel Lamatim, remember this Allah means below. So what's the answer of Ka'arya? Like different layers to the answer. You're drawing on the Arya Yishag, and it's only like the Arya Yishag because we're in a goof. That's how it begins. Are we clear on this? Yeah. Omnam kol zerak b'tchilas av. Now comes the big news. And then the Yid goes high in his avodah. Why? And he goes higher than the avodah samalachim. Because he's a Yid, and he has a neshama, and the malachim stir it, and he's burning his helps, but then unlock something in him that's far beyond. Because he's a shtik alikus. Shar Yisrael him lefnim malachi hashar. As Rashi tells us, Shepashas Balak, the Malachim, that the Malachim are asking the Eden, where's the Eibush to hold? What's going on? You guys are really on the inside. The whole Kavanah is you. We are just auxiliary. So therefore the pasuk continues, not Ka'arya Yishak, but Kihu Yishak. He. Who's the he now? The he, the Neshama. And the Neshama's cry is the emes gevav. The emes gevav, because the Neshama is a chelik lekam mibal mamash. The Neshama's longing is not only for the source where I come from, but it's really a longing to be true to self in the deepest way. Because the Neshama is not a creation, it's not a spashtus, it's a chelik lekam mibal mamash. The end, therefore, is he higher than the Ka'arya Yishak. Nimsa conclusion, sheyesh, and more coming. Not finished, friends. We have to, at first, at least be awash in the words. From once, the second time, and the third time. The nimsa sheyesh b'chlolos gimel madreges, so comes out there's three madreges. Tchilas having the b'chinas achre havaya leicho Ka'arya Yishak. First, follow after God, then he's lowered in the malachim. Chaf hadimyan, like the Arya. Sholamata meb'chinas malachim. That's the beginning. Yachach mis'ala b'vidos b'chinas Arya Yishak. And then, then mamash the level of the Arya Yishak, and then surpasses them. That's the level of P'chinas Hamerkava the Bria. He experiences the Avos Hashem like the Malachim Bavila Mabri. Then Vachakach Misala Bavidose L'Mayla Hamerkava the Malachim. P'chinas Atzilus, that's in the Neshama, is Chachmad Atzilus. Shazen Namar Kihu Yishak beyond the Mabria. Beyond Avodas HaMalachim. It's all hinted to, therefore, these three dargas in the pasuk, because it begins. Achravai Yelechu Ka'arya Yishak. The middle level is not stated, but the pasuk brings it out. They just catch that, because Ka'arya implies then there will be the middle level Arya Yishak on par as it were with the Malachim to be technical, and the third level Kihu Yishak the Neshama. The middle level is not explicit in the pasuk. It's implicit. Between the Ka'arya and the Hu is the Arya Mash. Okay, nice words, levels. Each one has to be misburdened in the Indian. That's what davening is for.
He's going to elaborate on what that means for the first level. He said that Zimmer. Elaborate on.
Just quote a Pesukei de Zimra there because that's what he speaks in the Kota Torah. It's not Chana, but it's Bechas Krishma, the Kodesh. Right. That's what we're talking about.
So for the other two levels, if you're going to explain
where that
what
is.
That avodah is.
It's an Avos Olam. Maybe she chose me. At the end of the day, they should want to see it. After describing the whole flow of the Vedas and Malachim, the purpose of which is to excite the Nefesh Bahamis and the longing and so on. And then it's all to say that all he wants is you. Here, the choice is a Yid's Aveda. That's Avos Olam. We're more in the Maimer, in that is bonus. But that's the general Nakuda. Till now, it's my longing for him. Avas Olam is the Eibishter's longing for me. And that unlocks the deepest connection. Really? Yeah. And all the flaws. Okay, friends.